In fact, let's do 6 and do 1 on each stage. I think we'll do this. Yeah.
Choose your character. Versus Falco.
I don't remember when we say this now.
Yeah, yeah. How you feeling so far? Halfway through.
Yeah, I think other than like the little tech flubs and stuff here and there, I feel like it's kind of what I wanted. Like I can tell a lot of the times where like the approaches and the decisions that I'm making are just being like completely exploited in a way that like I'm not used to.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Right. Yeah. If you try to remember what you think like the big things going wrong, my plan was just to go over like what I think the biggest things I'm exploiting right now is.
Yeah.
And then yeah, sort of go from there, and then maybe we do another 6 games and see,
Okay.
you know, what we can change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus
Yeah. That seems fine.
ready, go!
I think we got Battlefield and
Do we play
FD
FD? Yeah.
yeah, we got those two.
Versus Falco, ready, go!
All right, cool.
Jeez.
So yeah, GG's. So yeah, I guess if you want to start with like, what do you think you were doing well, first of all?
Um, I think towards the end, I was being a lot more patient, and kind of like not just like being panicked to like approach or like throw out an option.
Yeah.
Um, I think my like defensive game in neutral was like getting better as well. I think like my
Hmm.
shields were pretty good, and like I had a few shine out of shields that like if I had better execution out of it would have probably led to like nice punishes.
Yep. Yep.
Um, I think yeah. I mean that's mainly it.
Yeah,
Like
that's good. Yeah, yeah,
from what I
that's
can
good.
see. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'd agree. I definitely think the shield usage was really good. Like you're doing a lot of good run up shield. And I feel like you got enough openings. Honestly, it
Mm.
was just sort of the punish game wasn't there off of
Yeah,
those
definitely.
openings.
Yeah.
Especially shine knockdowns, I think was a big one that like is
Mm.
the big difference between like the top foxes and like the foxes that maybe struggle a bit more. It's just like if Prof gets like a shine knockdown on me, he'll get like a grab into a combo about
Mm.
like 50% of the time, whereas I feel like you didn't really get anything off of shine ever.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Yeah.
and if that's one of your biggest openings you're getting, then like that's a problem, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, because
okay,
I've
yeah, and
definitely had
yeah.
I've definitely had like lots of moments like throughout uh like just playing where like, I'll have I don't know like a day or like a few hours where like I'm getting like super clean wave dashes out of shine and then like properly reacting and like tech chasing but it's just like nowhere near as consistent as I want it to be. So
Mhm.
like I yeah like it's at a point where like I understand that like I can do it. It's just I need to like implement like properly, you know. It's like the difference between like
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
on like on your own and then like playing versus a person, like how much harder it is to like do the things that you've been doing.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. I think that's pretty accurate. So yeah, what did you feel like was the main problems for you then, like in those games?
I think a lot of it felt like execution, and then
Mhm.
another part felt like either I was like overcomplicating things, or you just had like so much control and awareness from like the situation that you were able to like kill me in like really easy ways. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I like that you said easy,
mm,
because like I don't mean like in in like an offensive way. Like my openings were easy. It was more so like there wasn't many like steps
yeah, yeah.
to hitting you. So I think it was very like I just read this one thing and then I get a hit,
Mm,
which isn't really how it should be. I should be having to win like several mix-ups to be able to get a hit on you a lot of the time.
mm-hmm,
Um, so yeah, I did feel like I said, like the run-up shields you were doing were good as a baseline, but it always felt like there was only one or two ways that you were ever going to hit me. And if I play around those, then like um it's going to be rough for you to get anything started
mm,
unless I like mess up. And yeah, I'd say the big things for that were like grounded options, like run up shield.
mm-hmm.
Um, but I did think you were doing a pretty good job of not like jumping at me from really far, like
Yeah.
like you were before in the VOD. But I think what might have happened is like you're now never doing that, which is also
Okay, yeah.
bad. And it's not like you should just pick a really bad option. Sometimes it's more that like use it when you know you've sort of like conditioned me to start expecting a run up shield, right? Like
Okay,
if
yeah.
I'm starting doing lots of like run up grab in neutral or like wave dash back shine, like that's your time to like full hop in sometimes.
Mm-hmm,
And yeah, just say I think like you said it felt like you were a bit impatient at times.
mm.
Like it never felt like I was the one that was pressured into making a decision because I'm in a bad spot, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Yeah.
And I think that's again because you were either like too far away, or you didn't have enough like frame advantage on me to really do much.
Mm,
Like to put it in the terms we were using last time, it felt like we were in phase one for like 90% of the game,
mm.
when like that shouldn't ideally be happening. Like I played Leffen yesterday, and it felt like it was phase two for like 80% of the game.
Okay,
So
yeah.
that's the sort of difference. And like yeah, he was playing it more risky, but he's also taking like more calculated risks, I guess.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like it never felt for me like if I threw something out, I could get hit for this. And I think that's really important.
Mm. And you think that was mainly just like positioning and uh just like I guess like what I was doing like when you were throwing them out, like I wasn't in the position, and then even if I was in the position I wasn't like just punishing you for it, I guess.
Yeah, it felt like so a lot of the time it felt like you were too far away to really punish anything.
Yeah.
Like if I like back air in place, for example, and you're like over a roll distance away, there's no way you're getting there in time to
Yeah, of
like
course, yeah.
punish it with something. Um, and also, it almost felt like you weren't expecting a lot of things. Like I don't know if it was because maybe you were so focused on the laser aspect that then like me whiffing something was like sort of unexpected, maybe.
Mm.
Um, did it feel like you had a good idea of like when I was lasering versus like throwing stuff out, or did that feel
Um
very random to you?
no, I think at the moment I'm still kind of operating on like my actions, if that makes sense. Like I'm kind of
Yeah,
more thinking about like, okay, I'm gonna try and do this. Okay, I'll try and do this because it's like a bit different, or like I'll I'll try and do this because I know it's good in the matchup.
yeah,
Um, I'm still kind of working on like really staring at you and being like, okay, I can like now is the time to like do this thing that I've practiced a bunch because I've just like noticed that you've done something.
yeah. I think what might help in that case then is just to try and think about uh like try and think about it from the opponent's perspective more. Like what are they scared of,
Mm,
and what do they want? And I feel like when you do that, it makes it a lot clearer, like what the right decision is on your end. So I think we watch a VOD for like 5 minutes, like one of the games, and then
mm-hmm.
do
Yeah,
another.
sure.
Well, I think that'll help. I mean, let's just watch the FD game because I think you played best that game, and I think
Yeah.
it's a lot simpler on FD. Um,
Did you want a screenshot? Yeah. Okay. So
yeah, I got it. Yeah, it was funny because so I was trying to do like lots of different things to see like what you were good
mm,
against and bad against. And one of the things you were really good against dealing with was this sequence, like laser dash dance approaching laser.
mm,
Um, and I think it's because a lot of the time you're trying to like hit Falco from too far away, which means you're actually hitting this space here.
mm.
And that's actually good if I'm like waiting and then lasering in, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But that's sort of like the level two almost, where like the whole reason I'm doing this is because I'm waiting for you to like jump or like maybe whiff something here or dash
Yeah.
dance.
It almost feels like
Um,
random that I'm covering that option. You know.
yeah, yeah. Like this would be something Leffen would like wave dash in up smash here or something as like a hard read on this
Mm,
specific option, but again, it doesn't really feel like there's the same level of
yeah.
thought. Um,
I think like the difference is that I'm like I don't think I could have ever told you that you ever laser dash danced
dash dance
approaching
laser.
laser.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like I'd say as a baseline, you always want to, especially versus Falco at least, like what do they do after a laser at this range? Because like this is probably like a core part of the
Mm,
matchup, just because like I'm also scared of what you can do, right? Because it's pretty hard for me to hit you.
mm-hmm.
Like if you think about it from Falco's end, like he has to like aerial into you or laser into you. And that just gets bodied by full hop, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
just full hop over and drill me or up air me or whatever. Or you move backwards and then I whiff and then I'm in a bad spot.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like it's sort of like a risky position for both characters to try and like hit you in, if that makes sense. Like it's risky for you to try and move in and hit me,
Yeah,
and
for
it's
sure.
risky for me to hit you. And you want to play in a way that I don't know if we talked about this last time, but you want to play in a way where you're making them take risks, right?
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Um, so like something good here might be instead of wave dashing back, maybe wave dashing down if you think I'm going to like stay
Mm,
here, because that way you're closer, right? Whereas if you're back here, there's no way you're hitting like Falco if he stays
mm-hmm.
sort of here.
Yeah,
And if I'd have down aired at you or approached you, like I would have hit you anyway here, right?
yeah,
Like because
yeah,
you'd have just run into the move. Um, so again, I definitely like I'd say think about the sort of baseline position in each match. I mean, I'd say this is pretty common, right? Like you shield a laser around
yeah.
this range,
Oh,
or
for
you
sure, yeah.
you take a laser. Um, and yeah, think about like what's it called? What's Falco looking for here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I like from my perspective, I either want to hit you trying to like move into me,
Mm-hmm.
so like wave dashing forward or something, or I want to try and maybe get you to move back and give up space, or maybe jump and then play around that, maybe whiff something. Um, so yeah, that's when you can sort of do all your like. Do you feel like you have a good idea in the first place of like what your options are here, or is that not like on your radar?
Like yes, but like mostly just off of like my experience and not like a really thought through process. Like from here, if I did take the laser or shield the laser,
Mm.
I think there is a part of me that is like already prepping the wave dash back. Like it's like okay, I'll run up shield and then like wave dash back as kind of just like to me it's like okay, that's a safe option and that's like
Yeah, yeah,
it beats like you like daring in, but I think it's at a point where it's still all just like pre-prepared actions and it's not
yeah,
really flowing and changing based on like what my opponent's doing. Like obviously like the dash in is like um just like me going to punish like the dare that you would have done, you know.
yeah, yeah.
um so yeah, I think it's still like this is definitely really helpful, just like explaining like a bit more of what my options are, because I think at the moment it's what I have is like almost like sealed in from like things that I've just been doing over the years.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, I have two thoughts on that, I think. So first of all, I don't even think wave dash back is a bad decision here, honestly.
Mm.
It's just what you do out of it. So like when you shield it, like you said, you already decided you're going to wave dash.
Yeah.
So then while you're doing your wave dash here, you need to see what I did
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
decision, right? So then if you see this, you probably see like the jump. So if I just count frames, when do you jump? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I usually work with like 17 or 18 just in case people have like slow reactions. But you'd probably see like dash in here or dash jump, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then if you thought I was going to laser or like lay aerial, then I actually think the shine was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna hit me out of it. But if you saw that wave dash back and I'm just like dash dancing here, for
Yeah.
example, then maybe that's not a good decision, right? Because you're gonna put yourself in lag. And that's when you could still maybe dash forward, but then put your shield up, or
Or like wave dash
dash
down.
and then, or even like dash and then full hop, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas it feels like you got to like here and then was like, I'm gonna wave dash back, dash forward, shine.
Yeah. 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 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's almost like you're trying to what's it called? Like play chess like 4 moves in advance without even seeing like what the position is,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
like you're missing out on a lot of information basically, which is making it harder for you. Whereas it's almost like I can see your hand and you can't see my hand, you know?
Yeah. I understand. Yeah.
Like I'm playing with extra information that makes it a lot easier, and that's why I said it was easy because I just sort of see you do something like this, and you know, unless you get this really hard read, like 3 steps in advance, then you're not going to be able to hit me that easily.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
and that's sort of how the neutral functions at this range, where stuff's reactable, is unless you get a really hard read, like something like this, you gotta like win a few. You have to get sort of like a few small victories first before you get the big hit. If somebody's playing like quite safe and reactive, if you're just like running at each other, then yeah, it's gonna you know it might work. But yeah. So you see, I'm just like waiting a lot more, right? And I feel
Yeah.
like you did
Yeah.
a good job of what's it called? Playing keep away for now. Like, I felt like you would have played around a lot of my like instant threats here, which I think is good. Like you always want to be aware of like what's Falco's immediate threat here, which would be like, you know, of course, dash approaching aerial or laser or something. But then yeah, you also want to be thinking about like, well, what's Falco's answer to your sort of like baseline, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to laser more like from my perspective here, I was like, well, I'm gonna dash back laser because I don't want to be inside your full hop range, right? So then this is a spot where maybe you could full hop again before the laser hits, right? Or you could dash
Okay.
at power shield.
Yeah.
So you see how like because you got the power shield here, and it hit me, it gave you a little bit extra time to do something.
Yeah.
So now you've got what like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 12 frames or something. So you could
Yeah.
even like dash full hop over to hit me. You could try and run a power shield. You dash to take the laser. But
Yes.
do you see how sort of like that full hop's different to like the ones where you're all the way over here and nothing's
Yeah.
happened
Of
yet?
course. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas this one you already have a slight advantage because you hit the power shield.
But yeah, it's definitely
yeah.
that like throughout the steps that I'm taking, I'm just not like reacting to what's going on, because like I guarantee at that point, like me getting the power shield like didn't change what I was doing.
Mm.
You know.
And again, like you can't know like now that you're gonna get the power shield, but once you full hopped, like I
Yeah,
think the
yeah, yeah,
shield
yeah.
and then full hop is pretty set. But then from here you can be like, um, if he tries to move back and laser, then I'll have time to avoid it and then
Yeah.
play from there. Because obviously if you avoid the laser, right, that means that um you're not as much of a disadvantage, right? Because obviously you're not getting hit,
Mm.
and he's also wasted frames to like get the laser out. So avoiding lasers is also really useful for like generating that little bit of advantage that you need to
Mm.
start your offense up. Um, and then like this one, again, I just make a read that you're probably going to try and full hop to play around like my like immediate threat.
Mm.
Um, and again, I was sort of just spamming this because I wanted to see if you could deal with it. But it's all part of the neutral, right? Like it's
Mm.
not like I'm trying to disrespect or anything. Um, nice, yes. Okay, so I think this is a good one to look at. So I like that you're shielding the lasers. Um, Obviously you may be playing a bit too far away,
Mm.
but I think it's because you're trying to play around this like instant like aerial or laser in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing is like if I'm not willing to just like jump in at you or take this space, then like you can do more like wave dash forward or like take laser dash forward.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and again, that's fine if you get hit because I'm having to take a big risk, right, to just jump at you with an aerial.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you always want to be thinking about like that sort of level one. Like, are they actually presenting their biggest threat or not? And for me at the moment, I'm not, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because I don't see a reason to, right? Um, Whereas, if you start running into my face every time, I might have to be like, yeah, okay, I have to sort of defend this space in the middle.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Um, but yeah, to actually get one of these power shields, you do dash forward power shield, which is great. But then because you wave dash back, you can't get anything off of it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because we're
yeah.
neutral now. Whereas if you wave dash forward, you're suddenly here and Falco's at a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you can start to pull of your offense. Um, so you want to be like, when you do look for power shield, you want to make a judgment on like, do I think I got this or not?
Mm.
And I felt like this one was a pretty good one to go for.
Yeah. I do get a good feeling of like when I get power shields like before it happens.
Hmm.
But like I said, it's not something that I'm taking into account when I'm thinking about my next actions really. I'm normally just thinking like, oh good, I got like this will be a power shield. I like that's good rather than like actually capitalizing off of it.
Yeah, yeah. And I will say there is a whole like what's it called idea behind like just because you got the power shield doesn't mean you have to wave dash forward and try and hit them immediately,
Mm-hmm.
and just because you got it doesn't mean you can never move
Yeah,
back. Because
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
might
yeah.
have jumped over your laser and then wave dashing back was actually good because you defended yourself. But I think having more of an intention about like what you're trying to do off of the run up shield,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, would help a lot. And then I like the empty land here actually. So you didn't just immediately laser. Sorry, aerial.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can see, if you land this power shield, like what's happened, I'm in the corner now and you've got center by taking pretty much like very little risk, right? You
Mm.
just jumped
Yeah.
at me, saw I wasn't there, and then, sort of returned to neutral. So this is again where you might want to look for power shield. You might want to jump again, right? And then you avoid the laser.
Mm.
You might want to dash forward. Um, you might want to just stay in this zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, because again, like you want to make me try and take a risk to try and hit you here,
Yeah.
and that could be like just a full approaching aerial, or it could even be like me sort of dash dancing, and then that gives you time to run in and hit me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're moving from that phase one to phase two. Um, But yeah, I feel like you're getting pretty decent positions, especially on FD. It felt pretty good. And then
Mm.
obviously there's punish game stuff, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and I feel like the punish game stuff is something that I have a lot more like uh understanding of, even though like I know that it's like a big weakness. It's not really something that like
you
is a
need me to tell
mystery
you
to
to,
me.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, Alright, looks like one more stuck, and then we can play
Sure.
a few more. Yeah, so just like really, really basic. I think it would be good to talk about what's it called? Like just some simple ways you can deal with like me doing this, right? Other than the run-up shield.
Mm.
Because the run-up shield's great, but obviously you don't want one option to just deal with something, right? Um, so I think take laser and then full hopping in is pretty good. Like sort of like you were doing before, honestly.
Mm.
If you think I'm gonna just laser into this spot
Mm-hmm.
from here, I also think you can just take the laser and then dash in up smash.
Mm-hmm.
That's also really good. Um, or again, you could even just keep dashing here, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm only lasering to here. Like you're not gonna instantly get hit. Um, and then if you see me do something like this aerial, then you can wait and then full hop over, or you can try and whiff punish it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think just having like a few different options for what to do at this sort of range. And again, we're not trying to hit Falco here. We're trying to like stop him from getting to a better position, right?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, like the goal isn't I'm gonna full hop over and hit him all the way back here. It's I want to stop him getting to here because if he gets to here, then he's got a better like position on me, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and again, like why doesn't Falco want to just jump in and hit you here? It's the same reason you don't want to jump in and hit him because he just can hit you really easily, right? Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
lot easier to hit someone that's moving towards you than
Mm.
like
Yeah.
away from you. Um, nice. Yeah, so I thought this was good. So you wait. But then here, I don't think you judged like how much time you had to try and whiff
Mm.
punish this. So something like all the top foxes do is they'll wait for a whiff like this, especially there, and then they'll just full hop over
Mm.
because it forces it's really hard for Falco to deal with, and you always want to be picking options that like it's hard for your opponent to deal with, right?
Yeah.
Um, because if he shines, if he spot dodges, if he dashes, like all of them put him in a really bad position versus your full hop.
Mm-hmm.
Um, whereas it felt like you just went for the grab as if I just whiffed like a forward smash
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
something like that. Um, I don't know if it was you that I was telling about indirect and direct whiff punishes. Does that ring a bell or not?
Um. I don't think you use those terms to me, but I remember you were
Mm.
talking about the idea that like if there's like a whiff, you can imagine yourself in the position that you would be once you're both actionable. But I don't know
Yeah,
if that's
yeah,
what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah. So like, how I split up with punishing is like yeah. So you have direct with punishes, which is like they whiffed a move and you actually hit their lag,
Mm.
like the lag of their move, and indirect with punishes, which is where you're trying to sort of cover the option they do after.
Mm-hmm.
So like here, like I'm actionable now as Falco.
Yeah.
So you're not actually whiff punishing the bear. You're whiff punishing like if I shielded after or
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
or if I up tilted maybe. And that's why I was saying the full hop was good here because it's a really good indirect whiff punish because it deals with a lot of the stuff Falco wants to do after.
Mm.
Like even this bear or laser, sorry. But yeah, you really want to get good at distinguishing. Like, am I going for the direct punish on
Mm.
something, or am I trying to read what they do after, um, or am I just not going to go for it at all?
Mm.
Um, But yeah, obviously that's harder versus Falco because he has a lot of moves that are quite hard to like directly punish like on reaction.
Yeah.
And also you're having to think about lasers the whole time while you're
Mm.
while you're trying to do all that. So it's a lot easier versus someone like Moth or Sheik or something. Um, but yeah, okay. I think if we play a few more and then start to wrap up, I think that will work
Yeah.
well. So really try. I think the main thing I'd want you to do in these games is just really try and look at what I'm doing when we're at that standard spacing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're both too far to each other, and I've just like lasered you. Um, let's play FD actually, just because I think that's going to be a bit simpler, right? No platforms.
Yeah, let's go.
Go! Choose your character versus Falco. Ready? Go!
Do you see that? How you punish the shield
Yeah.
rather than like the down air? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And that's not bad. It's just you need to be aware that
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what
I
happens.
understand.
Choose your character.
What did you feel like I was mainly doing between
Yeah. Yeah.
lasers
Yeah. Yeah.
that
It
game?
felt. It felt like more. It almost felt like more stressful when you're playing like in a very simple way that I just feel like I really struggled with.
Yeah, but it'll be because you don't have like like predetermined answers to like those
Yeah.
different sequences.
Yeah.
Like if you knew like my option versus two lasers, my option versus laser approaching laser, my option
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
laser
Yeah.
dashback
Yeah.
laser, you know, like and at that point you can just sort of like let your autopilot do
Mm.
stuff. It's just you need to have like your autopilot doing the right things, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But it felt like you were picking up at least on me doing like lots of lasers in place.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw you immediately trying to like jump in and hit it, which was good.
Yeah.
Versus Falco. Ready? Go!
Yeah, so it feels like you don't really have much of an idea what to do when I do like laser dash back laser, right? Did it feel
Yeah.
that way to you?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
100%. Like this, it
yeah,
felt so. Uh, it felt like I was learning so much, if you know what I mean. Like it felt like,
yeah.
um, I don't know, like it just really emphasized like what you saw that I just wasn't really able to deal with.
Yeah, okay. So let's I guess let's spend the last 5 minutes like thinking about how we develop an idea,
Yeah.
like an option versus this, right?
Mm.
So at the moment, what are you doing versus it, right? I think that's the first thing to work out. I
think-
felt like you were doing a lot of shielding. Right? Like,
Yeah, I feel like at the
shield.
moment I was almost like just wave dashing in with like shield,
Yeah, yeah.
just to try and like push you to the edge, I guess.
Yeah, and it did work. Like there was a few times we started like back here, and I went all the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And like that's sometimes, sometimes good if I'm never willing to move in. But then there was one time where I just did this and
Yeah,
hit you.
yeah.
So it's like, you don't want your only option to deal with it to be very low risk or very, very low reward and like medium risk, right?
Yeah.
And that's part of why I'm spamming this is because it's not very risky for me. But if I get you to jump or like wave dash into me,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
pretty good for me. So if I'm doing this, yeah, I think that's a good option, right? Like the main thing is you have more time to work with me. Because I have to do laser and then dash and then backflip and then laser, right? So you get more time, and again, that doesn't mean you have to hit me there. That just means you've got more time to work with, right? So maybe you dash instead of a shield, maybe you full hop sort of towards me. Maybe you do go for a big read and try and like running shine or something or nair over a laser.
Okay.
Or maybe you just stay where you are. I do this, and then suddenly you're still there, and I've lost some space, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you want to sort of at least for that option, you want to see like what's the downside of the option I'm picking, right? And it's the same for other characters. Like if I'm just spamming this, like what's the downside of me doing this? What am I giving up? And obviously I'm giving up hitting like right in front of you. I'm defending myself really well, but yeah, so the downside of this is it's quite slow. It doesn't really cover above me that well, right? Like you can just pull up over if you see me do that. Oops. Yeah, see? And it gives you like more time to sort of work with. And I'm also not hitting you in any way if I do that, right?
Yeah.
Like you're completely safe. So that's the other thing is like sometimes like you don't actually need to deal with stuff that isn't hitting you. Because it's not a threat, right? Like me doing this doesn't in itself do anything. But it's part of like the bigger picture of like, oh, I know you want to full hop, so if I do this, it gives me an advantage. Or, oh, I know you want power shield, so I'm going to jump over. But yeah, does that make sense? I know that was a lot.
Yeah, can you reiterate the thing you said at the end about, like, I didn't understand, like, what perspective you were talking about there.
Oh, so like, obviously, like we said, like, the level 1 here is, like, me doing this, right?
Yeah.
So to beat that, your sort of baseline is to just jump, right? Because or wave dash back.
Yeah.
And this option sort of is a counter for me to those two, right? Because I get a laser on your landing.
Yeah.
Or if you wave dash back, then like you've given up space.
Yeah.
Because this laser's gonna hit you, or it doesn't have to hit you, but yeah. So, but then obviously if I'm doing that, then then I'm not doing that. You know.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant by like from the perspective of like not seeing this in a vacuum, but sort of seeing it in tandem with like everything else that's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is again why when you tried to way dash forward and I just did this,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's why like it's a what you had was a good answer, but it's also not great because it just loses to my level 1, right?
Yeah, it's not good in context.
My biggest
of,
threat.
Like, the whole kit. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and obviously that like those 2 games at the end, I was only lasering pretty much. Like I wasn't doing any like waiting like this. I wasn't doing this. I wasn't, you know. And even just with the lasers on their own, there's a lot there. So, but I think once you get that down, it makes the rest of it a lot easier.
Yeah, I think my natural reaction is to think like, almost to take like the options out of context and be like, okay, they are doing this, so I'll do this. And I think it's especially, I mean, when you were just doing that over and over again, like I felt so lost. I was like,
yeah, how do I do this? Yeah, and again, there's 2 things there, right? It's like you need multiple answers to one thing, and you also need to think about how does it fit into the context of like how they've been playing, how the matchup is played, how I'm playing, you know, all that. And obviously that's a lot harder. So for now, like just focus on having good answers to all of like the basic stuff, right? Like if there's a Falco that can just do this and 4-stock you, like there's something wrong, right? Or like me just doing this. Like it seems so simple, but I'm literally just jumping and pressing B and it's beating you. So there's obviously more nuance that's needed to your gameplay. Yeah. It's sort of like, you know, the mob that just F smashes and people lose to it, right? So yeah, I think that's good to work with.
Yeah, for sure. It's super good to see because like when I play that doesn't happen and I'm like, you know, beating loads of people and it's like so refreshing to like just get something like really exposed and be like, oh wow, like this is such a huge part of my gameplay that I had like no idea like was even a thing.
And I will admit I do try to play that style, like very exploitative, compared to like some other players will just sort of like try and run you over with what they want to do, and that'll work too, right? There's lots of paths to victory, but I think learning how to sort of deal with problems that way makes it so that there's never something that comes up where you're like, I don't know what's going wrong, right? Because you just think about what are they giving up and what can I do to sort of abuse that, and you know you just sort of work through it. It's a very iterative process, obviously.
Yeah. So I mean, if you were playing, I don't know, like 11 or something, and you did that, like what would that look like on their end? Because I think for me, I'm still like I understand that. I understand the drawbacks of it. It's like, you know, like you said, it's slow, it's giving up space. You're not like actually opening me up with anything. So, like,
I mean, I can tell you what Leffen was doing yesterday.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. So like we would be here. I would do this, and he just does dash forward, take laser dash forward and jump with 1.
Okay.
He can also do so
just like
I
that.
did the wrong
like...
laser. I did the wrong laser, but yeah. Yeah, that. He would do like take laser and then dash forward. Because that happens, right? And then you shine me. Or like running power shield, and then you can like running power shield up smash.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Or again, the other thing he was doing was just waiting. Like if you just wait in place, like dash dance, like you've lost nothing, and I'm in the corner now.
Yeah.
And then from here, he would read me.
Okay. Yeah. And if you were to do that again,
because I would maybe be like, ah shit, I'm in the corner, so I'm gonna do this, and then he'd up smash me, or something, or like, ah shit, I'm in the corner, I'm gonna whiff, and then he kept dash dancing, and then he full hops over me, and, you know.
Okay. And I think what I still like this whole aspect of playing melee, like it seems so fun. And I just want to like be on that level to like actually
Yeah,
be
yeah.
playing
No,
like
it's fun.
yeah.
Choose your character.
But again, like I'm still thinking like okay, but like maybe he goes like different nests or something. Maybe if it's like a big thing, but like what like why would he choose the different options? I guess like I guess
What makes him choose the different like
yeah
options I listed? What is going to be higher risk or reward? What he thinks I'm going to do?
yeah okay
Because like he might not just be hard reading that one option. It might be he does dash forward shield because he thinks I might dash back laser or aerial in place or dash dance, right? And that's pretty good versus all of those
yeah
because it gets him close and into phase two. Or if he's doing the take laser full hop, he might be thinking, oh, he's gonna bear in place or he's gonna laser again. Um, so it's
yeah I
obviously
get it I get it
sometimes it's a
yeah
hard read. Yeah,
yeah
but
because obviously you're not doing that versus Leffen because you know it
I
would
can't
be
do that
like so
versus
susceptible to yeah
but there's definitely people I've played where I've been like, if I just do this one option, like their gameplay doesn't cover this. And any of the sets where I like four stock somebody or whatever, that's usually what's happening is I've just figured out like Aiken always describes it as like not the dark side, like the Mega Man boss. Like they just have this one pattern and they sort of lose to it.
yeah
And the Leffens of the world don't have that pattern. Like
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have enough answers and the profs and But yeah, okay. I need to get going soon, so I
yeah
think we should leave
that
it
was
there.
great yeah that was really
Good?
good like yeah that was
Awesome.
awesome
I might rename it to like play a set with me and chat
yeah
or
yeah that's
something.
kind
I
of
don't
what
know.
I've like hoped for going into it like
Yeah, okay.
yeah
Because my idea with it at first was like, because other people do this in other games where they watch you play ranked or whatever, and then give you advice to try and beat the person you're playing. But I could add another lesson, which is like,
yeah
play me in a set and get feedback.
yeah so
It's just annoying because I'm like usually down to play people anyway if they ask me, so it feels bad to like charge for it. But I guess if I'm doing it with the intention of helping them as much as possible rather than like me practicing, then
yeah I'm sure it gets difficult with that stuff because I'm sure in the past you were doing something similar at that point
I mean, yeah, I do this for free when I like
Yeah.
host Smash Fest if people ask me, or like if I want people in my region to get better. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I see more like the paying for the lessons as being like, okay, you're kind of getting like the best of the best, and you're like supporting somebody who would like do this as well, like you know, yeah.
Awesome.
All right, sweet,
Yeah,
thanks.
I'll see you in a bit then.
Yeah, good luck in France.
Thank you.
All right, see you later.
See ya.